take the job seriously. Um, I, even I was a professing Christian at that time, and I just felt like my view of work was more like, what's obligatory. It's just
Mm,
something I have to do, right? And hasn't been up until a few years ago where I realized that this is a um, this is something good. Working is good. Working is biblical.
mhm.
Because I always felt like the concept of work was a curse, right? And as I started to, God was dealing with me and opening up my understanding in terms of more of a deeper theological approach to even work. I started to really realize that work isn't a curse; it's the toil of work, right? In Genesis chapter
Yeah.
3. I mean, work was always something that God had given us. We were always called to be productive, and God blesses that level of production. And I think about Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 10:31. Whatever you do it for the glory of God. And it wasn't until I started to realize that me, you know, waking up every morning, going to work, and having the object of that work be the glory of God, and not my bank account,
Mhm.
not the titles that I was pursuing, trying to, climb the corporate ladder. Um, I think that changed. And in fact, I know that changed because it started to be evident in just the output that I was giving to my employer. Um, and the precision of my works or my work and all those things, it all kind of came together once I realized that I am called to work and it's a good thing, and God blesses your work.
Yeah.
Once you have Him as a focal point as far as what you do every single day.
Yeah, that's awesome, thank you for sharing that, and that's kinda one of the things I wanted to, bring out on this channel, hopefully it comes out, is that I find it very interesting. I've always thought how before I even started this channel, how I can look around at all these different occupations, healthcare, military, law enforcement, the janitor,
Mhm.
folks, picking up your trash. I'm like, man, God brings all these different people together, different skill sets, different desires, and we all come together and make a functioning society.
Right,
How does that happen?
right, right.
Um, and I'm like, well, it can't happen without God being behind it, right? And so part of this platform is um, how do we honor God in our occupations? In that is what we're doing is what we are doing God honoring. Um, and that are we using the skills that he gave us to the best of our abilities, and working hard for him, and doing good for our neighbors, and our community, and just being providers for our family, right?
Yeah, you bring up a good point, bro. Because we live in a cultural context that is often comparing itself to one another, right? You have the idea of keeping up with the Joneses, right? This facade of success. And what does success really look like? And again, from a Christian worldview, success looks like submission. It looks like submitting to God in all that you do, acknowledging Him in all of your ways. There was a theologian back in the 16th, 15th century that really, in similar to our context in Geneva, people were putting a high premium on jobs that people respected, and everyone was pursuing that one thing, right? They were pursuing status. And this theologian says the person that is a shoemaker, he's the shoemaker, and he does it to the glory of God. So there was a shift in like the way people viewed employment and careers. And it shifted from individualism to the community, what you're just alluding to, right?
Yeah.
How does our individual jobs contribute to the overall health of society and community?